have you been, Jess? I'm well aware that it's been over a month since I uploaded a video to my YouTube channel, and that is some serious slacking on my part, but there's a lot of reasons why I haven't been around, and I've sort of taken a YouTube break, but in reality I've still been doing a lot of video editing, like a ridiculous amount of video editing, because of the project I started working on. I was on a roll with my YouTube videos, and then I started working on my suicide awareness project. I started that project in a frame of mind where I thought I was 100% ready to tackle it and just face it head on. Like, I'd recorded the footage and I'd got about halfway through editing the video and I was on a roll, and then that's when kind of I slumped into a little bit of, shall we say, the depressive side of, yeah. So much crazy stuff happened. I'm not going to go into loads of details in this video, and I'm going to wait until after I have been to court to kind of speak about it, because it's just incredibly messy at the moment. There's a few of you that will sort of know what I'm speaking about when I kind of touch base on that, because a few things came to light recently for me through my subscribers. Now, I know it sounds incredibly bizarre, but some of my subscribers were aware of something, well, a few things that I wasn't aware of, things I should have been aware of, things that had slipped under the radar and just completely gone amiss. Things that I did not know, things that needed to be brought to my attention were brought to my attention. And then things that didn't really need to be brought to my attention were also brought to my attention. And there's a few of you that will know what I'm speaking about. And it's very messy and crazy, but I'm not gonna speak about that at this point, but I'm just gonna mention that because that's one of the reasons why I was just very, wow, did not expect that kind of thing. Because I just did not expect that. Like, imagine all of the things that you just least expect coming true in the weirdest way possible. The timing of it all basically just got to me. That's the best way to explain it, because I would say that that wasn't specifically the reason why I ended up in the position that I ended up. It was just one of the reasons why my head just kind of went, oh wow, and I was just very low. And usually when it comes to my bipolar disorder, what will happen is I will be on a roll for like an extended period of time, and then I will come crashing down. And usually the period of time in which I am more, shall we say, down there in the shitter tends to be about 2 to 3 weeks. But sometimes I can be feeling incredibly low incredibly quickly, like, and then incredibly high, like incredibly, like awesome, incredibly, wow, all of the incrediblies. So I'm not going to speak about all the crazy drama that a few people have wanted me to touch base on, because like I said, it's just crazy drama at this point. It's just, I'm over it. I'm just kind of like, right, well, that happened, while that was going on, this was happening, and just ain't nobody got time for that. There was a lot of stressful things going on in my life basically, and I ended up relapsing with my eating again. I was in a position where my diet was really good, like I was eating on a regular basis, because I'd fallen out of the pattern of eating because of stress. That's what a stress eating disorder basically is. You're so stressed, you have no appetite, you can't eat, and there's loads of horrible things that go hand in hand with a stress eating disorder, because it can be re-triggered, and if you don't realise that you've changed the habit of you eating, then you end up kind of going back to that. Yeah, I don't know, it's very difficult for me to explain, because another thing that I'm experiencing right now while I film this video is YouTube anxiety. I had a few of my friends here on YouTube speak about it, like, if you don't make a video for a while and you come back and then you've got a camera and a ring light or your studio light and you just kind of sat there like, fuck, this was second nature to me like a few weeks ago, and now I'm just kind of like, whoo. It's weird because obviously I'm sat in a room on my own and nobody's listening to me. Is that whistling? Did I hear whistling? Somebody might be listening to me. Oh shit. It's birds. I thought it was somebody whistling. I'm feeling a little bit anxious because I've just not done this in a while. If you can sense the anxiety, I'm sorry, especially to fellow empaths that can feel all of the feelings through the video. It's difficult to film this because it's been so long since I filmed a video. What I'm trying to say is I ended up very stressed. There was loads of things that came to light, and then there was loads of things going on at the time, and it was just incredibly stressful for me. And at the same time, you know, I have a daughter and she's my priority. I had all of these things that I needed to do, and the next 2 videos you were supposed to see, like well over 3 weeks ago, were a blue banana haul, my video art because I thought it would have been finished by now, and also another vlog and I think there was also some kind of hair video too. I ended up in a fragile position because I was overworking myself and kind of desensitizing myself to what was going on around me in order to deal with it. So I was therefore kind of isolating myself, to be honest, in a little bit of an emotional sense, because I was that shocked with certain things that had come to light, but at the same time, like, there was loads of things going on in my life, and it was very frustrating because it kind of felt as though no matter how much effort I put into life, how much of a positive beacon of light I was, just shit things kept happening, and I was just thinking, how are all these shit things happening? Like, I don't understand why. It was a very, why me, what the fuck's going on kind of breaking point. It was only when I noticed that my clothes were starting to get baggy on me again, like my underwear for example, like it was just falling down my legs, and I was thinking, I think I've lost a lot of weight again. I was feeling incredibly nauseous in the morning, and I knew there was no way in hell that I could be pregnant. I felt really sick to my stomach every morning I was waking up. I had no appetite, I was stressed as fuck. Sorry for my swearing, but I was incredibly stressed, anxious all the time, and kind of just pushing myself. And then I was thinking to myself, oh my god, I can't believe I've put myself back here. And then I had a close friend of mine remind me that I didn't put myself back here. It was kind of like an orchestrated kind of event by like an incredibly bitter, horrible person and a crazy person. And by the way, I'm going to say one thing right now as well to all of you. YouTube stalkers are real. You'd think you'd have to have at least over 100,000 subscribers to get creepy, weird people that try to insert themselves into your everyday life in real life. There are people out there like that, and I will touch on that situation in another video, but it is one of the reasons why I kind of just lost all motivation to eat, because I was just kind of shocked, to be honest, by the actions of some people. And at the same time, I'm a people pleaser, so I was trying to please everybody around me and make everybody happy, and at the same time I was suffering because I was just constantly on the go and I just wasn't eating. And I didn't realise that I wasn't eating until my underwear was baggy. I was feeling sick in the morning. There was this one morning I woke up and I ended up calling NHS 111 and getting an emergency appointment. Always call NHS 111 if you're feeling a bit uneasy about something, if you're feeling a little bit, you know, like something's not right. I woke up one morning and my bed was just wet. Like, I'd not wet myself or anything in my sleep. It was just soaking wet, and I was thinking, this is really bizarre. I didn't have Athena that day, thank God, because I'd woke up shivering and I thought maybe I've got flu or something, but I didn't have flu. It turned out I just basically started to starve myself, and my body had started to slowly shut down basically, but not in an extreme way, just like the earlier effects, because I hadn't realised at this point that I'd dropped to 6 stone until I went to the doctor's that day. And when I walked in there, I got to see my GP that I haven't seen for a while, because the last 2 times I've been there I've kind of slipped under the radar because those doctors palmed me off, whereas she took one look at me, she did my blood pressure. Not only had I like relapsed obviously, but I'd relapsed and a bit. So basically I'd relapsed with my eating due to the stress of everything and ended up being 6 stone, which is the worst weight basically that I've ever got to unhealthily, because I do understand that a lot of people that are my size could also healthily be, you know, 6 stone, whereas 6 stone is not a healthy weight for me at all. 7.5 stone, I would say that that was more of a healthy weight to me. 8.5 stone, I wouldn't say that 6 stone is healthy for me in any shape or form, because the scary thing about it was when I was still on the scales, it wasn't like I was just touching 6 stone, I was just going underneath it, and then that's when I kind of realised, and I ended up leaving that appointment with antidepressants, diazepam to help me sleep, some of those vitamins, and she gave me some antidepressants, and then in the end I decided not to take them because I realised that it wasn't a good call, because the mental health team specifically said that I didn't need to go on antidepressants and then I shouldn't go on antidepressants, and you know, psychotherapy is the right call and this and that and yada yada. So I took the propanolol she gave me because I felt like that really helped with my anxiety, but I didn't take the antidepressants, and I didn't end up needing the antidepressants either because I ended up going for 3 weeks to my grandparents' house and just kind of isolating myself there. And like obviously I'm still seeing Athena on a regular basis and everything like that. I just wasn't spending time at my house. I wasn't sleeping at my house. I wasn't reminded by anything that had gone on in this house. I still haven't got round to saging my house, which really needs to be done. Like, I'm not even joking. It's like I've got my house to a point where it's almost sageable. And when I say almost sageable, I mean my house has to be clean to be sageable. My house is, let's say, moderately sageable, but not perfectly sageable. I want my house to be really clean before I sage the shit out of it. And it's like it gets to the standard of being sageable, and then one room gets messy and it fucks up the balance I'm creating in my house before I sage it, if that makes sense. A little bit of a tangent there. She's still not saged the house. I'm gonna sage the house. I promise I will sage it. I'm going to sage it Future Jess, past Jess, present Jess, all of the world. The saging is gonna happen. Promise to the universe. God bless you, sage. Anyway, moving along. I ended up isolating myself away at my grandparents' house for a good 3 weeks, and I was really struggling with like my sleep and stuff, but I found that the diazepam helped. I just didn't take it on a regular basis because diazepam is incredibly addictive, and if you take it every single night, your body will start to kind of need diazepam. And it's strange because I took diazepam for 3 nights straight, like a good few months ago, like way back now, like the last time I got prescribed them. Then one night I didn't take diazepam, I had a horrible nightmare that felt so real, so I just thought, fuck the diazepam unless I really need it. If I really need the Valium, because that's what diazepam is, I will take it. But I took those with me, but I only took them like, let's say once every 4 days to kind of balance out how much diazepam was in my system, because I'm the kind of person where if something helps me sleep better, I'm like, oh, okay then, I'm feeling pretty nice. It makes me feel very relaxed. You know, when you're just racing thoughts, lying in bed, other people that are bipolar, you know, they'll understand, or anyone that suffers with insomnia and just like fast pacing thoughts, they'll know the struggle with sleep when you're manic or you're feeling specifically kind of just stressed and anxious. Anything that makes going to sleep easier can become so addictive, like the thought of that, like a pill that can make you feel relaxed without having to get yourself into that frame of mind. And I think that's why a lot of people become drug addicts as well in a way, because they're addicted to having a button to kind of just solve the problem instead of having to solve it themselves. And with diazepam, I'm not gonna lie, like, I like it. I like how it makes me feel, but I've acknowledged that I enjoy it, and because I enjoy it, I see it as something that I should only do if I need it. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like diazepam is a treat. It's a treat that I only gravitate towards if I really need it. Otherwise, I know the next day I'm gonna be like, you know, I kind of want another one of those. And then the next day, oh, I can't take one of those because they're highly addictive. Nightmare. You don't want that. So that's one thing to be wary of. Like, whenever you're given anything for your sleep, try and kind of track how much of that you are digesting into your system, because going a couple of nights on the trot with diazepam in your system and then going a night without it, it really is not good. It's strange. It's bizarre. It's like a withdrawal, but just mentally, like you have the nightmare and you don't feel ill or anything like that. There's no side effects physically, but just having the mental nightmare itself is enough to kind of make you think, yeah, I'm only going to take diazepam if I really need it, because the night without it isn't worth the night with it, if that makes sense, unless you really need it to sleep. So I had some of those diazepams, and the reason why I'm telling you all about that is because I had to find an alternative, basically, those nights without the diazepam. And the alternative that I found was basically to light a white sage incense stick, because I took all my incense with me to my aya's house. And I got my crystals and I positioned them in a heart, because I felt as though my heart chakra needed a lot of healing at that moment in time as well. And to balance out the right crystals and to light my incense just kind of made me feel so much more at ease. And I sat there and I just kind of focused on nothing. And as bizarre as that sounds, focusing on nothing and just breathing in the smell of white sage with my crystals all lined up before bed naturally just made me feel incredibly relaxed. And I wasn't thinking about all of these crazy things that were going on or all these weird things that were happening. I was just kind of separating myself from the situation and looking at it from a bigger picture. And I found myself capable of doing that and going to sleep, but it didn't work every night. It wasn't something that I could do every single night, because on the days where it was really tough or particularly stressful, it's like, oh, I don't even know how to explain it. I found my stones and my crystals to be incredibly therapeutic during my time of stress when I was kind of like vacating away at my grandparents' house. And I kind of just tried to balance it out with like the occasional propranolol for my anxiety if I felt like my heart was racing and I was about to have a panic attack. And then the occasional diazepam at night time, and then balancing it out with like incense, meditation. Another thing I found to be really helpful too, to kind of make myself feel a bit more positive about everything that was going on that was out of my control, was to basically write down, you know, all of the things that I kind of want in life, but in very small sentences, like my hopes and my aspirations basically, and my goals and my passions. And I even wrote down like a few of the people, you know, that I care about, like, you know, close friends and loved ones and people that I genuinely want good things for. And I wrote it all on like little pieces of paper, and I scrumpled them all up and I lit a few candles, and I kind of said like a prayer for like all of the people that I love, and, you know, all of the people that I've come across like in my life. And in that moment I kind of just lit a sage incense as well, and I just kind of breathed it in. I've not been smoking the white sage, I promise. No, seriously, I haven't. However, it is quite tempting because it smells so nice. So I think to myself, I wonder what that would taste like if I was to smoke it, but I've not been smoking any of the white sage incense. Just gonna throw that out there. Yeah, anyway. Another thing that I found to be incredibly helpful was the cards that I bought. Now, in my spirituality haul, I literally mentioned to you guys how that was the first time, you know, I'd ever picked up oracle cards. And it's quite bizarre, the relationship that I've actually developed with the oracle cards. And this is gonna sound crazy now, and a lot of people are probably just gonna think, bullshit, but I'm being real with you guys. Like, it's very strange, the relationship that I have developed with these cards, because through finding out loads of different aspects of, you know, my spirituality, and like finding out a lot more about spirituality, you know, meeting my spiritual advisor and opening myself up more to the universe and everything around me, becoming more in touch with myself and my intuitive self, literally discovered so much. I need to make a separate video for all of the stuff that I've gone through and experienced. I'm gonna make a separate video for the experiences that I've had with the oracle cards, but it's really crazy because every reading I have done for myself and for everybody else has been right, like 100%. And it's strange because I did a reading for my mum's boyfriend, who I don't know very well, and I found out all of this stuff that I couldn't have possibly known. So weird. I also ended up doing a reading for my friend Becca. She didn't actually like voice her questions to spirit, she just kind of thought about them. And I did a 3-card spread, and during the 3-card spread I read the meanings of the cards, of course, but at the same time I also kind of delve deep inside myself. It sounds like I'm going crazy. It sounds like I'm crazy. I sound crazy. I don't mean to sound crazy. I ended up telling her some things that brought her to tears, and it shocked me because I was saying, like, you know, I'm just gonna say this because it's just come to my head from nowhere, but blah 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 blah. And she was gobsmacked at what I said. And it's strange because everything is played out, like every single thing is playing out, and it's kind of shocking me, to be honest. I'm gonna make a separate video all about like my experiences with the cards and how I've been using them, kind of thing, because it's really weird. It's like second nature almost. So I'd love to know, like, if in a past life I did something like this, because it's crazy, really. And it's strange as well because my gut instinct 2 years ago was so right about so many things that I can't wait to talk to you guys about. Like, my mind is blown by so much stuff. All of these rambles to the side, sometimes it's shocking how far you can actually go without food before you realise, oh shit, I've not eaten anything. That's the scary thing. So I got myself back into a routine of eating on a regular basis, and I noticed I started to feel so much better. Just like so much more energy, clearer thoughts, and fucking hell, we need food to function. But the good news is I weighed myself today and I am 7 stone, which is good because I was 6 stone, so I've put a stone on now. I don't know what the conversion rates are in whatever country you're in, but 7 stone is good because 6 stone was incredibly underweight for me and not good at all. And I ended up in hospital and they had to do an ECG on me as well to check my heart rate and everything because I'd become so weak. It wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. It was getting out of control, but I managed with the help of my yaya, who I love very, very, very much. I love her very, very much. And she really, really, really helped me through it. And I've got some really good close friends as well that have been helping me with eating. You find out in the shittiest of times in your life who your true friends are. And it makes me sad in a way when I say that, because I feel like there's some people in my life that I've left behind, but not intentionally. I don't know, there's so many things I wish that I could say, but I feel like so much anxiety to say them, but I'm hoping to kind of break that barrier, kind of just like chop it. Another thing that was really, really annoying was I was using art to help me with a lot of aspects of my depression, and I was using it on such a regular basis that pretty much every night before I went to bed, I was doing something new in my sketchbook, like literally every single night. And then I injured my finger. I'm not too sure what's wrong with it, but it's kind of like a nerve injury of some sort because it's affected all of the muscle down here to my wrist. And I couldn't hold a pen or a pencil tight enough to draw, and it was just so weird. It was horrible. And I've like just massaging it now, it's still incredibly sore. I need to go and get it checked out to make sure it's all right, but I need my hands for things. Typing, playing the piano, playing the guitar, painting, drawing, changing nappies, dressing. That doesn't even look like I'm dressing a child, but I am. I'm dressing a child. This video has been incredibly rambly and I'm not too sure how much sense it has made, but I kind of just wanted to come back and make an update video because the last you saw of me was a hair dyeing video and all was well. Like, I was just laughing, I was having fun, I was dyeing my hair, I was happy, and then the month that followed was just so brutal in like loads of different shapes and forms. It just happened so fast, everything happened so fast, it got so out of control so fast. But at the same time, the biggest realization I had was it was not my problem. Everything that was going on was not my problem. I was affected by the problem, but I wasn't the problem. And I'm always so quick to just assume I'm the problem. Like, literally, I'm so quick to assume I'm the problem. Like, all my life I've been brought up to kind of just assume I'm the problem. Shitty month, shitty times, love my friends to bits, love my yaya because she motivated me to eat in every way possible. Hopefully this comes before the video art, but if it comes afterwards, then it was Final Cut Pro's decision, okay? In regards to the video art, it was incredibly difficult for me to make because of the subject it touches on, but I really hope that those of you that have watched it or do watch it, you know, can appreciate the meaning behind it. I just really hope that the message in the video helps somebody, because in those darkest of times, sometimes we stumble across things that we really need to see, and a lot of people have come to me and said that my art has been that for them. In order to continue to be that, I have to continue expressing myself through my art, and a lot of my art does come from personal experiences, and I do feel very, very passionate about suicide awareness as somebody who's obviously gone through it. That specific piece is really, it means a lot to me because of what it's about, basically, because I go back to where I tried to kill myself, but I changed my perspective on it, and I really do feel like I have changed, you know, how I view that bridge just by how long I've been editing this video for example, like, because I've been video editing for that long and then I've got all the crazy shit going in between, so I've not been able to just dedicate my time to obviously editing that video. I've had loads of other shit I've had to do, you know, hashtag adult life, hashtag mum life, hashtag what the fuck is going on life, literally all the hashtags in the world. When did I start hashtagging everything, by the way? Somebody let me know where did I get that from? I don't even know where I got that from, but I hashtag the shit out of everything, and I do it in real life as well, like walking downstairs, making a brew, hashtag brew time. I don't need to do it. Hashtag why though? I really hope that video can, you know, spread awareness, make people feel less alone that are in that position, because it's a horrible place to be. And a lot of people don't understand the motive behind somebody who wants to take their life. And a lot of people instantly assume that people are glamorizing the idea of death by wanting to take their own life. But the common misconception here is that a lot of people that are suicidal, you know, who try to take their own life, don't actually want to die. It's literally the harshest form of escapism. And one of the reasons why I wanted to make that video was to share my experience through the emotive perception, as opposed to just sitting here and speaking about it. Well, then this happened. Like, I don't mind doing a talky down video speaking about it because it's been long enough for me to speak about it. But the past month editing this video has been really hard, because throughout the video it's touched on little different aspects emotionally and mentally for me in order to help me kind of overcome what happened on that bridge. And I've just been wanting to change my perspective completely. I really do feel like it's kind of given me closure, because it really has, you know, changed my viewpoint completely. I feel like there's so much power in how we perceive things, especially things that we find incredibly hard to deal with, things that we find to be an emotional struggle, a mental struggle, anything that really truly impacts us, affects us. And the things that affect us, you know, because they affect us, there's not really much we can do about it, because if something affects you and makes you feel a certain way, you know, sets off an emotional reaction or a mental reaction, there's not much more you can do other than try to change that reaction. And that reaction is an emotional or mental reaction in your head. Yeah, I find that it was very therapeutic for me to do, but it was also a task. It's the most personal piece of video art I've ever made, so I really do hope that it helps somebody out there. So I'm back. For those of you that have missed me, for those of you that didn't even notice I was gone for over a month, then okay, fair enough. Just gonna go now. I have no chair to spin on, so I'll see you in the next video.